What's going on, Bills Mafia? This is Gen 716 back here again, and today I want to recap about the Buffalo Bills beating the Miami Dolphins 37-20. This is the first game that I didn't have to stress, I didn't have to yell, I wasn't mad about, and it's a good feeling. I know a lot of Bills fans are going to be riding Josh Allen and this offense today. I know that's for certain. I'm just gonna say this. I got to give Josh Allen some credit today. He played really well. There were some throws here and there that you would want Josh Allen to connect, but I thought overall he had a pretty good day. Completed 250 passing yards, had 3 touchdowns, had a rushing touchdown, all of it, had 300 total yards of offense. I thought he had a pretty decent day. Is this his best performance? It's up there. You could make an argument that Giants game still might be his best performance, but these are the type of, people will be impressed with that performance, and people would definitely love it, and they'll definitely take a look at this and say that, hey, maybe Josh Allen could build off this, which, Bills fans, they should be, right? Bills fans should definitely have those expectations. Now, for me personally, I expected Josh Allen to have this, maybe have at least maybe 3 or 4 of these games throughout this season. This was my definition of improvement, was the Josh Allen to take this step as far as the stat sheet goes. Now, again, they didn't really do anything too fancy, right? They weren't phenomenal on the deep throw. I mean, they pretty much had the same game plan like they've always done. These short intermediate routes, these throws. Had some throws beyond 20 yards that where I thought, that they were more aggressive on, which I like that a lot. But besides that, not really much has improved compared to, I would say, the first week of the regular season, as far as just the route tree, as far as just the game plan goes. As far as the running game, right? I've been preaching about the Buffalo Bills to run the football. They ran the right. These guys got the ball a lot this game, and I'm not just talking about Singletary alone. Singletary had 14 carries, had a couple fumbles, but had 75 yards. His worst game, because he had the 2 fumbles, but he still averaged over 5 yards a carry. Frank Gore had 11 carries for around 27 yards. Listen, I think it's time for Frank Gore to. I think that we have to really reduce these carries that Frank Gore is getting. I know that Devin Singletary didn't have the greatest game in the world, but he averaged 5 yards a carry with only 14 carries. I still feel like that Devin Singletary could have had a lot more carries, but I'm not going to complain a lot about that because we ran the football over 20 times. And this includes Josh Allen as well, because he also has a rushing touchdown. This was more of a balanced game, I would definitely say. Now for me, because I'm a Devin Singletary type of guy. I've been a fan of his. I want to see him run the football a lot more this game, and hopefully we can maybe, after taking a look at this film, I think that hopefully Dable or McDermott, one of these guys can realize, okay, Devin Singletary, we're gonna have to give this guy the ball a lot more in this game if we're gonna try to be more dynamic on the offensive side of the football. But overall wise, I am pleased that we gave the rock to our running backs at least 20 times in this football game. John Brown, very, very impressive day. Another game where he has over 50 yards receiving. He has 100 yards. He had 100 yards today. He had just a great game, man. They couldn't cover John Brown tonight, man, and that is really really good, especially looking beyond the future. Now he is 29 years of age, and if Buffalo does decide to try to get younger receivers, try to get better receivers, you got John Brown, Cole Beasley out there that can teach these young guys next year how to be successful, right? As far as just the route as far as the route tree patterns goes, John Brown is arguably one of the best in the league. Cole Beasley, we all know, is a guy that can get open in the slot, and but John Brown, man, he's having one hell of a season, and I'm just excited for next year. I'm really really excited to see what John Brown can bring to the young guys, because I think Buffalo will definitely draft some receivers and get some receivers in free agency. But I just like the way John Brown's been playing, man. He's been very very aggressive. His route tree pattern, as far as just expanding it, beyond his game, as far as just being just a fly route, vertical deep threat, he's now becoming all around really good receiver. So that's really really good to see John Brown at this level right now. Dawson Knox, I thought he had a pretty good game. Dawson Knox had a pretty good game as well, man. Had a touchdown reception I really like Dawson Knox's performance. I would say the most impressive thing about our offense was the pass protection. The pass protection was really, really well, man. They barely got to Josh Allen. Uh, I, I, 2 solid weeks in a row now where the pass protection has been right. Now, it was a tough break losing Ty Nsekhe because Cody Ford at tackle, even though he's a good run blocker as a pass blocker, he is suspect there. So I think losing Ty Nsekhe is going to be a big loss. It looks like he's going to be out for the regular season. So first of all, hopefully Ty Nsekhe I hope that he has a speedy recovery and he can get back as soon as possible. But it looks like he's going to be done for the season with a very serious ankle injury, it looks like. I know some people are going to get on our defense. We allowed 300 passing yards to Ryan Fitzpatrick. Even though a lot of those yards were garbage yards. But still, the Buffalo Bills defense did their job once again. They only held the Dolphins to 2 touchdowns in this game, which is 14 points. The most impressive thing is that they only allowed 9 rushing yards to Kalen Ballage. Now, the last time they played the Dolphins, right, they put on a rushing clinic on this Bills defense. This game, they were more aggressive, man, especially in the first half. I mean, they blitzed the crap out of Miami, which we normally don't see Buffalo do. But they blitzed the crap out of Miami. They had a bunch of stunts. They sent the dogs. They sent the dogs out there tonight. So I was really, really pleased with how our defense played. Kevin Johnson, I feel like had a really, really good game. I know Devontae Parker went off, but Kevin Johnson, as far as just being that replacement for Levi Wallace, I felt like had a really, really good game today. He was really good in all facets of the game, whether if it was in pass coverage or whether if it was in rush defense. He was really good tonight, and he looked really confident. Which is one thing that I think that Levi Wallace was missing, was that confidence factor that I think could make him what we all expected him to be, and that was to be a good number 2 corner. But Kevin Johnson had a really good performance, I thought, today. He did really, really well. 6 sacks, great performance. Once again, by our defense. We had 6 sacks on Ryan Fitzpatrick. We've been struggling on the sack department. We got 6 sacks on him. Ed Oliver, I feel like he might have had a couple sacks in this football game. Jordan Phillips was a monster up in the middle, up in the trenches, in the interior. Just an all-around good performance, I feel like, from our defense. Special teams, we gave up a kick return touchdown to Jakeem Grant. I feel like definitely the return game wasn't good. I feel like for us, especially on the kickoffs, really wasn't good all day. We got to clean that up. Hashka had a good game. He was perfect. I know people were blaming Hashka all year round. I'm not blaming Hashka for nothing. Listen, I know he missed 2 field goals against Cleveland, but he hasn't been the problem of why Buffalo has been losing some of their games. It's really been about the offense, and they rebounded. Now, we had a good game. We won by 17 points. I don't consider that a blowout, right? I consider winning by 20 points more a blowout. But again, this is the first game where I didn't have to scream. I wasn't angry. I wasn't stressed. This was a game where I actually, I'm like, yeah, I kind of want to watch other games now. I don't have to worry about it. And I wish we could have more performances, because the way the schedule was set up during the first half of the season, and even now, these are the type of games we should be winning against. Again, we got the talent, we got the potential. We just have to grasp that, man. That's really what we have to do. And if we can do that, we can be a 10-win, maybe 11-win football squad. But we're 7-3. We got Denver next week. They did lose to Minnesota, but they were up 20-0 on Minnesota. So Denver's going to be a very, very tough game. We got them at home. Let's see if we can build off this now. Let's see if we can build off this performance against Miami. Let's see if we can expand upon that throughout the rest of the year, because it's not going to get easier. It's actually going to get really harder for us on this at this point. We're 7-3. We really only need 3 more wins, and we're in the playoffs. But every single opponent on our schedule, it's going to be a very difficult game for this point going forward. Even that Jets game, right? The Jets, they're looking like they're on a roll now, and so it's going to be very, very difficult to get those 3 wins. But can we do it? It's possible. Are we going to do it? We'll find out. We'll see if our offense can be consistent. And I just want to talk about this. Penalties, man. If there's one bad spot, it was the penalties. Jesus Christ. We got to clean those penalties up. We've been one of the worst penalized teams so far. We got to clean up the penalties, because if we don't clean up the penalties, it's going to absolutely kick our ass later on the stretch. So we got to do better when it comes to cleaning up the penalties. But besides that, great performance by Buffalo. And let's see if we can expand upon that against Denver and even even beyond. So anyway, guys, that's all I got for this video. This is Jan716, Bills Mafia. I'll check you guys later. Peace.